Government contractors are super fortunate that we have multiple tools in our toolbox, these really powerful tools that can help us with sales that they're unique to the federal market. And so an example are USA Spending, FPDS, and SAM. Those are the top three big ones, right? And the idea is you want to be mastering these tools to be able to hit your sales goals out there. FPDS, if you don't know this, is the raw data around contracts the federal government has awarded, right? So that's raw data. And then USA Spending has that same data plus a little bit more, but they have it in a much more friendly, user-friendly way of displaying it. It's the same data for the most part, but I love going into both of them because when I go in, I have different reasons for going in. And then today we're going to be talking about SAM.gov. SAM has some of what FPDS and USA Spending has with their awards, but I'm going to focus today on opportunities, what's in front of us, not what's behind us. I definitely like what's behind us because it helps me put it in front of us. But today I want to be showing you just like how to use SAM and begin to maximize that. I used to hold off on teaching things like SAM and FPDS, but what I've come to realize is that maybe a lot of us know the names of these tools, etc., but perhaps we're not as familiar with just how to use them. And SAM, for anybody who's been here a while, used to be called FPDO. We all got used to it. And now it's called, it's in SAM, but it's not the most user-friendly tool. I like it. It's there, but I wish it was better. So, okay, let me share my screen here, and we're going to dive into some slides as well. And by the way, I'm going to be sharing my screen today, and I'll do a couple of slides, and I'm going to dive into this really into SAM and show you literally what we're talking about. I like showing you the meat of the activity. I don't like to just talk about things conceptually. I like to be very tactical. So today, I'm not even just talking conceptually about tactical tips. I'm actually going to show you exactly what I do for my customer. And in fact, some of my customers are in here. One of them in particular, I'm just going to make this training about them. It's going to help each of us, but I'm going to be paying attention to their need as I go into SAM and show you how we can search for opportunities that they can win, right? I want to talk to you about how to create saved searches, which enable us to come back and save so much time. Once we figure out what we're looking for, we should be able to show up in 20% of the time and get done what we want, right? And really never miss anything as well. And then the last thing I'm going to try to show you is just my 15-minute review process. What I do on a daily basis, 15 minutes, right? I talk about getting engaged on social media and social selling and other training that I do. And I say, do that 15 minutes a day. Well, SAM should be kind of that 15-minute exercise as well. Instead of opening up your email or listening to your voicemails right away, go look at SAM really quick. Go look at LinkedIn. Get those out. Those are very proactive, important, but not urgent activity. Then you can switch over to answering emails and answering voicemails. So if this is what you're here for today, put SAM Rocks into the chat. Let me know you're along for the ride to figure out how do we really begin to master the use of SAM in our federal sales activities as government contractors. SAM Rocks into the chat. I just want to see a lot of that when I come to the chat afterwards. All right, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Neil McDonnell. I'm the president of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you to my federal sales training, where I provide tips for success in the federal market. I spent 20 years in the federal market as a small business owner, and since 2018, I've been teaching people like you that government contracting is not a secret. It's just a process. When we follow a process A to Z, we have repeatable, predictable results, and that's what I want for you. That's what I want for your company. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my newsletter, Government Contracting Success newsletter. It's the largest government contracting newsletter on LinkedIn, and it's where we keep bringing just really valuable information to your sales efforts in the federal market. For example, I just dropped an issue of the newsletter this morning, and the issue was about the ITES 4S contract vehicle that the Army's putting out. It's a $12 billion contract vehicle that even people in the professional services side can really be part of, but certainly anybody who's doing anything with IT, including like help desk, training, et cetera, in that space. But they have an RFI. And so I was dropping this out, letting people know that not only is it here, but there's an RFI due on Saturday, March 2nd. So I say Saturday or Friday, March 1st. But that RFI takes 15 minutes. It's not many pages. It's 15 minutes to get in the game. And so that's what you see in this newsletter. It's really valuable information. And the last thing I wanted to do is to say thank you to those who registered. We had well over 100 people registering for our training today. And when you register and say you're going to attend, you've given us the best thank you can give us, right? I love it when you say thank you at the end of the training. We really appreciate that. My team and I work hard to put these on. When you register for the attendance, though, that's one of our favorite ways. And so thank you for doing that. Also, when you do it, LinkedIn pushes the word out to other people. So please make sure you register for tomorrow and the next day, and don't miss out on additional training. All right, so I want to kind of wrap up with this last slide, and then I'm going to jump into SAM, and hopefully I haven't been logged out. But I'm going to cover down on three main things I really want you to start getting better at, right? SAM has all this functionality, great things, reporting and blah, 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 right? Fantastic stuff, but let's call those advanced skills. These are the most basic uses of SAM that I want you to make sure you're very comfortable with, right? The first is searching for opportunities, whether they're early in the phase, like in the RFI and sources sought side, or even RFPs, right? RFPs and hearing about them, they're never a bad thing. Obviously, when you have an opportunity you're trying to pursue, the earlier you get engaged, the more chance you're going to win it. But sometimes seeing an RFP is a really good thing because now you know who's buying what you're selling. And you're like, well, I'm a little bit late to the game, but I can start building a relationship with them. Maybe I can get in and find teaming partners, et cetera. And so I'll talk about how I help my customers search for opportunities. The second thing is we're going to cover down on saving searches and the different ways I use those, whether you set alerts, et cetera. And spoiler alert, I hate alerts. I hate things coming to my email. And then the last thing is we're going to talk about 15-minute review that I do. So every morning before I have my cup of coffee, I come in and I look at SAM and I go boom, 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 boom. This is what I want you to do. When you do this, you really make SAM work for you, right? You're not reactionary. You're proactively getting in there, getting out of SAM, whatever happened in the last 24 hours. And you're never saying, oh, I missed an opportunity. So let's get rocking and rolling on that. By the way, just as a quick aside, if you already have responded to that RFI for ITES for the Army, do me a favor and put ITES in the chat. I'm just curious on how many people are here today who are tracking on that. And then let me switch over to here. Okay, so we're in SAM. The very nature of how I train, we're going to have almost 300 people live here. Some of you are really experienced with SAM, and some of you like seeing this for the first time. I'm going to play this middle ground. So if you're brand new, you just kind of have to catch up a little bit. You can watch the replay. And if you're more seasoned, bear with me as I go through here and get the tips out of this that you want. So setting the scenario again, you're my customer, right? Literally, my customer is in here on training, I bet, today. And they want to get into Department of Commerce, and they're looking for admin support services. That's what I'm going to use as my scenario. I did not prepare anything beyond knowing what I'm going to talk to you about because I wanted you to see what even somebody like me, an expert who goes in here, what I experience when I bounce around. I did not want to show you this perfect meal and say, oh, look at that, it's perfect. Every time it's perfect. You should create something just like this. It's like, well, how the heck did you just make that, right? I want to take you into the kitchen. I want to sit there and show you how I prepare ingredients, how I cook the food, how I make sure the food comes out the right way, how I perfect the display of the meal before I bring it out, you know, not that I do that every night. But I want you to come in. We're going to learn how to fish here together. So I'm on SAM.gov. First thing I want to do is to search for opportunities. And so I like to go here and just select domains. I'm going to say, show me contract opportunities. What this means is now when I do a search, I'm only going to see opportunities or items that are in the contract opportunities, and I'm not going to see all this extra stuff. The next thing I'm going to do is admin support is what I'm looking for. So I want to walk you through these scenarios, right? So I'm going to type in admin support. Let's just start with that and see what I get. So the interesting thing is the first thing I get is fire restoration. I'm not feeling too good about this. I'm looking at a couple of more. I'm looking down. I'm like, none of this is really impressing me. You know what's ironic, though, is my customer is very interested in sign language. That is part of the American Sign Language and translation services is part of the admin support they do. So I like that. But I want to come back because I said I'm looking for Department of Commerce. That's what I want to see. And so I'm going to come down here and say, well, let me see in the agency that I want to find. So I'm going to come down here to federal organizations and say, show me Department of Commerce. right there, it shows me different choices. I could choose commerce. Every time you do something, it filters it out. So the next thing I've just learned here is that I just said, show me Department of Commerce. I'm looking at forward-looking opportunities, and I wrote in the keyword admin support, right? And I got nothing, like nothing's coming up. So I'm gonna get rid of that keyword and see what happens. Well, now I got 190 results. And this is the first thing I wanna teach you that I do. Everybody kind of does things differently, but I do my stuff this way. I like when I get 100 or 500 results, I like saying, well, there's my baseline, right? That's what I'm looking for in here. And so I'm going to try to show you this and we'll go through together. But what I do when I'm looking for admin support or something else in commerce, I start scrolling through this list. And in a minute, what I'm going to show you is that when I'm done, I'm going to set up a saved search that will show me something similar. But what it will do is say, these 190, if 191st comes on board, I'll tell you about it, Neil. That way, from this point forward, the first day I have to look at 190 items, right? I'm going to scroll through all 190 items. But the second day, I only look at what's new. I could also say, show me what's changed, but I don't want to do that at the moment because that's separate. I don't need to see what's changed. I just want to make sure anytime a new opportunity drops, I'm aware of it. I can decide whether I individually watch items for changes. So here, I'm going to start scrolling down a little bit just to see what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for that admin support, and let me just scroll in. So I said admin support. Here's something here that says administrative support. So I'm just going to right click on it and open it in a new tab there, and I'll come back to it in 1 second. And I'm just scrolling, right? And this is one of the things I really want to encourage you to do is get comfortable with scrolling it. I did not filter out keywords. Now, I did not filter out NAICS codes. Those take too many things. I would rather look at things that don't apply to me once and see everything than to accidentally miss something that could be worth $100,000 or $1 million or whatever, right? So I'm coming down here, I'm looking, I'm not really seeing anything that's good. Workflow, here's training support. That's kind of like it, but I'm really looking for something that would be closer to admin support. And so let's just assume, and by the way, I'm going to come back to this one guy just to see if he is admin support. If we come down here, I'm going to look at this, the descriptions, what I'm looking for. So this is who it is, but they're looking for facility portfolio administration and support services. That seems like what they do. And so obviously it falls under the right NAICS. So I like this opportunity so far. This is just describing who the office is with. What I'm really looking for is the work, right? In order to promote it, I'm down here, I'm looking and I'm saying, information system support. Here's asset management planning, some project development, some other stuff. So they're talking about what we're doing and what I'm able to do. So I can read this, and that now it just gets into, when you respond, what are you doing? And I'm not going to go that far into SAM yet. Okay, so I'm finding these opportunities, right? What I do with this is something different. I don't want to make today about what do I do when I get an opportunity. That's a different training on capture management, frankly. But I like that opportunity. It's good. But what I want to do here is just pause for a second and show you, and I'm going to come back and show you other ways I search, by the way. But I want to pause for a second and show you what do I do with this thing, right? So I'm going to come in here and say, show me saved searches. Oh, I screwed that up. Those are my saved searches. Hopefully I still got it. This is funny. I went away and I came back, and it looks like Department of Commerce got one more thing. So let me just track it. So contract opportunities, and the federal organization is Commerce. I don't know why it's not showing anymore. The Department of Commerce. There you go, 192. I don't know how I missed that. But so now I want to save this search, right? And so as I look at this thing, I can decide to save it and begin to see the results as they come forward. I do want to come down 1 second and just show you there's a lot of other filters you can decide to put in place that work in. For example, when you scroll down, you can add more of these in there. But the part that I really look for is I want to make sure I'm only seeing opportunities that are CONUS. And so that means inside the United States. I'm going to try to see if CONUS comes up. It doesn't. So I just type United States. The challenge with the United States, just so you know, is that United States includes Guam to the U.S. Virgin Islands, so it includes the Pacific and the Atlantic. So you got to watch out for that that kind of activity. Okay, so I'm going to save this search now, and in here I'm just going to call it Department of Commerce opportunities. So I've saved this search, and what I want to do is come back and just show you, when you look at this search, you're able to see the opportunities very quickly. So let me pull down some other fields here. Sometimes it's fun just trying to get these notice dates. And again, I'm going live so that you can see what it's like when I come in here. So right now, I don't really have a created date, but I'm going to change this thing to just say, in the past day, it was updated, right? And now you can see only 10 opportunities have been updated. If I wanted to, I could save that search. I'm going to update this search. Now what happens is when I come in the morning, and let me just go home for a second. When I come in and I'm trying to go to searches, I can come into a search and I can come over to my saved searches. And in here, I'm able to say, let me look at Department of Commerce really quick. And when I look at it, it quickly shows me, hey, there was 10 items that were updated in the last day. And to be candid, I don't know where the added field is, and so I got to look for that later. But this is sufficient, right? I can see if it was modified in the last day. That's the same as if it was added in the last day. But I'm able to quickly look through and go, okay, I don't really care about any of these. There's cyberspace. This looks interesting. Here's that portfolio management one. I am tracking on that. Let me see what they did. I can come down and literally in like 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm able to review that and go, have any changed or been added that I care about? And that's a part I want you to be paying attention to, right? When you come in, you can set up a search and you can do these saved searches. So let me scratch really quick, and I'm going to do it with a new search. So I have another particular search that I'm trying to do, and this one is independent of agencies, same customer, right? But here we're trying to do American Sign Language. So let me try this one really quick. American Sign Language. Okay, so there's 48 results. As I come through here, I can start looking. I'm going to get results that are not a fit for me. And so what you can tell, right, is I come down here, I'm able to see, for the most part, these are ASLs. Some of these I'm not sure, like that's a company, and so it's just a registration. What I can see is I made a mistake, and I forgot to do this part up here, where you come to the domain and you select only contract opportunities. So now I'm seeing 28, and I'm going to start looking and see if, for the most part, this is good, right? So some of this, I'm not quite sure why it's there, but as I look, like I'm not sure why registered nurses. And so I'm going to go look at that really quick and go, why did that search come up? And can I refine what I'm typing here? Let me just search really quick. Sign. Go find me sign. Assignment, significantly, sign pricing, signature, designated. Okay, so for some reason it came in a lot tighter. I could come up here and I say, I want the exact phrase. I don't know if you noticed what I just did there, but I took that search and I said, instead of all the words, show me the exact phrase. And now there's only 9. So now what I'm finding is 9 opportunities. This is an ideal search. Right now I can come in every day. So let me save this guy. I'm going to save it as ASL. And here I'm just saying to myself, every day when I come in, I want to check out at least 4 services. Let's just put that. So every day when I come in and I'm going to do my job, right? I'm going to start from home again. First thing in the morning, I got before you get your cup of coffee, you come into the search on SAM. You've got this saved search that you would set up over here. And in this saved search, now I've got the Department of Commerce. I can go into that agency. I can go into ASL and say, let me take a look at ASL and see what opportunities are out there. In this particular case, I didn't set up the date, but this one as well, I would want to say, not responses, updated. So updated in the past day, right? I might even be a little loose and say updated in the last 3 days, just in case I miss a day, right? And when I come back, I can say, oh, okay, there was 2 opportunities in there. And let me just save this. Now I have 2 searches. When I come back in, I'm able to quickly see these searches. And this is what I mean by, like, I blended the 3 things I wanted to teach you. There's finding things, finding opportunities. There is setting up a saved search. And then what do I do on a regular basis? I said 15 minutes a day. That 15 minutes includes me going to my pipeline, whether it's a spreadsheet or whether, like what I do with my customers, where we put the pipeline into SharePoint, or whether you got a fancy tool, it doesn't matter. This 15 minutes a day includes coming to SAM, seeing what's been updated, what hasn't been updated, and then updating your pipeline with that information. I'm going to do one more search just to show it from scratch, and then we'll kind of move forward here. So again, remember, this is your company and your service. I'm going to try to be doing that, but here I'm saying contract opportunities. First thing I want to do. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stab at the things I want to do. So I'm going to be looking for, here's another customer, additive manufacturing. Always scary to type when I'm live. So additive manufacturing, let's give that a shot. So the first thing I do right out of the gate, it's got 54 results. Now, one of the interesting things, if you don't know what additive manufacturing is, you can also think about it like part replacement, which is why when I saw this plain journal bearing, I'm not going to get rid of it just yet, because that's kind of related to it. But what I want to do now is look at an exact phrase and just go, can I come down more? So I came down 43, right? Now it's my job to go through these and look at them and see if I like any of these, right? And then I want to save this search. So the next thing I want to do is to come into the dates and say updated date, change, let's say the past 3 days. So every day when I come in, I'm looking 3 days back. And right there, you can see it's got 2, but I'm going to leave it there for the moment, because that's my customer is trying to really look at DoD, but it's okay to look across the board as well. Somebody else is doing it. This is DLA, so they're already talking to DLA. We got them in and they're having good conversations, but this search will enable them to be able to track. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it as additive. I don't know how I'm spelling that. Additive manufacturing, right? Even if I misspell it. So now I got it saved and it's right there. The last thing is, when I come in every morning and I want to be searching for this, I'm going to come to the search. By the way, you need to be logged in order to save searches, right? You can search without being logged in, but make sure you have a login.gov account. That's really all you need to be able to search on here. And then you can save these searches. So I came in, I started my day, I went to SAM, I came to the search area, and now I'm coming over to my saved searches, and I'm saying, let me take a look. I'm going to go to additive manufacturing. I want to see what was changed yesterday. You should not have this broad breadth of activity, like every possible thing. You really want to keep it narrowed down. You want to stay focused on, let me just do a new search here really quick. You want to stay focused on keywords that are you, right? And you can tweak them. I do not like NAICS codes or PCS codes or any of those things, because they're too broad. They'll give me too much information. Yes, I need to pay attention to them, but I don't need to track them here. So here you can see I'm able to track on SharePoint if that's your business. And when I look in here, I can see who's doing it. One of the things that's really fun for me is I can see here end user service extension contract. That's for licenses and everything else. But what it's telling me is I can come in here and see who's buying it, and I can contact them and say, hey, I'm not doing this, but we can do services. Can we talk? Right? So there's a lot of value from SAM.gov when you go into the search, etc. So here's what I want you to remember from today's training. It's designed to be very focused on SAM, because SAM is your tool. It's not the government's tool. It's your tool. It's a perfect sales tool, and you want to master that tool. You want to become an expert at that tool. The same way you should be an expert at using your email, Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or Excel, right? Those type of tools, those are in the trade of anybody who's trying to do business. And so SAM, make sure you master it, but don't master everything until you really have nailed down how to find opportunities that are in your company. If you still have questions about how to do search, put it in the comments so that I can answer in the comments to everybody. The second thing is practice saving searches today. Don't even go away from your computer. Go over to SAM, set up a search, practice saving the search, and then tomorrow morning you can start reviewing daily. You can start as soon as we get done this call on saving a search. And tomorrow morning, you can start practicing that daily review of SAM and that activity. Hope you found this helpful. As you move forward on SAM and through your day-to-day job, just remember, government contracting, it's not a secret. It's just a process. I'll see you in the next training.